When you move to Japan or any other foreign country in general, even within your own country, if you move to a place where the culture is different, if you want to be accepted by that culture, if you want to be successful in that area, if you want people to like you, if you want to build relationships, if you want to get a decent job, you're going to have to change certain things about yourself that might be uncomfortable. You might see it as losing parts of your personality. You might see it as being un-American if you're like me and you're in Japan. And basically, it's going to be this constant struggle of learning what parts of yourself you are okay with letting go or hiding in the public realm around Japanese people or whatever country you're in, and then understanding which parts you are not okay with giving up and which parts you want to hold on to, and always show people in this different culture, even if they may be uncomfortable to them, even if they may not accept you for them. So basically, like, lately I've been making some videos on how to be accepted in Japan, how to be successful in Japan, and often I title these videos with something like, in Japan, you must do this, you have to do this. And I guess a lot of maybe brain dead people that watch my videos think that I mean like, you must do this, like, or else, like, I don't know, or else you're going to jail, or if you, or like I care what you do, like, I don't give a fuck what you do, you guys do whatever the hell you want. But when I say you must do this in Japan, you have to do this in Japan, how to survive in Japan. Obviously, no, you're not actually going to die. And if you do think you're going to die, stop watching my videos. I don't want anybody that's that low IQ watching my videos. But what I mean when I say you have to do this, I mean if you want to be successful in Japan, if you want to maximize your potential for success, if you want to maximize your ability to succeed and do well here in Japan or any different culture, you're going to need to learn to do certain things that might not be normal for you and from where you came from. So, for example, recently I posted this video about wearing cologne and how many of other cultures across the world, it's super normal to wear cologne. In Japan, people don't sweat like that. People don't like the smell of cologne. They don't need to usually mask their body odors. They don't have as much body odor. So people don't really wear deodorant like that here. People don't usually wear cologne like that. And if you do wear cologne here in Japan, people are going to be giving you looks. People are going to think you're weird. People are going to think you're gross. People might be put off by you. People might not want to be your friend because they just smell you and like, oh, that's gross. Or like, oh, this guy's so foreign. To understand, man, anywhere that you go, in any culture, in any place around the world, there are going to be small things like that where people think, oh, like that's foreign or that's different. I'm kind of good. I want to keep to my own. Because let's be honest, everywhere that you go in the entire world, people have an in-group preference. People like to stick to their own, and that's natural, and that's totally okay. But you just need to understand that that is part of living somewhere else in a different culture. So if you come to Japan and you are spraying yourself with cologne all the time, be my guest. If you want to spray yourself with cologne, be my guest. I don't give a fuck what you do. But if you want to have all the Japanese friends in the world, if you want to maximize your potential to be accepted here, be included in things, to be Japanese, as they say, I suggest that you drop the cologne. So someone commented on my video and was like, yeah, like, I always wear cologne. Cologne is just a part of me. I don't think I can give that up. Hey, man, completely okay. There might be some things you are okay with giving up. I guess cologne is not one of them, which kind of, I mean, it's a little funky to me. I feel like cologne is a part of you. I mean, hey, man, no judgment, but okay. And then, like, another video I posted about learning how to bow in Japan, how Japanese people bow, etc. And a couple people were upset saying, oh, like, I'm not going to bow. Like, that's not, in my country, we don't do that because that's like saying that you're lesser than someone, saying like, okay, like, that's fine. You don't have to by any means. If you want to come to Japan and live here for your life and you want to start a life, or even if you're just coming on vacation here to Japan, you don't have to bow at all. But you have to understand that will change the way that people perceive you here. That will change the way that some of your interactions will go here. That will change the way that people think of you here. So I, for example, live in Japan. So it is my duty to be as Japanese as possible so I can be accepted by the culture, so I can improve my chances of success without completely giving up everything about myself, everything that makes me me and makes me American. Why does this dude fucking following me right here? Fuck off, buddy. So, like, for example, one thing that I cannot give up, no matter how long I live here, I've lived here for 2 years in Japan, something that I cannot give up is just speaking directly. Now, I'm not going to say that all Americans speak directly all the time, 100% of the time. Like if like for example, if someone invites me out somewhere, I'm not always just going to be like no because I don't want to. I might like say it in like a little bit of a nicer way, such as like, you know, man, like I'm just really busy lately. I appreciate it, but I'm all right. Thank you for the invite. Something like that. But in Japan, they literally say things like if someone invites you out somewhere, or you invite someone else, if you invite like a Japanese person out somewhere, it's super, super normal for people to be like, oh my God, yeah, I'd love to. And then just like ghost you completely. Or to say like, oh wow, sounds fun. Let me think about it a little bit. And then just ghost you completely. And then like actually we had this conversation in my Japanese class today where my teacher was saying, when people say let me think about it here, everyone knows that that means no. And that's just clearly a no here in Japan. Like in America, if someone says let me think about it, it might be sometimes that, but it depends on the person, it depends on the situation. If someone says let me think about it, when I say let me think about it, I really need to think about it actually for a second. So well, the point that I'm getting to is that is not something that I'm willing to change about myself to fit in here. I am not willing to pick up this Japanese style of communication where people dance around points and are constantly walking on eggshells around other people's feelings because they're worried that it's going to like hurt their feelings if they say no directly. It's like, dude, we're all adults. So I am not willing to give that up. I have been told by Japanese people many times that I should work on that and I shouldn't just say like, no, I don't want to do this, or maybe just straightforward saying something to a girl or whatever. It could just be a conversation topic in Japanese, like I said. So Japanese people have told me that, hey, I should like work on communicating in a more vague manner, in a more what's seen as like dancing around ideas and emotions manner. But I am not willing to do that. I think that goes against my character fundamentally. I think that is fake, and I don't think that's really a healthy part of Japan. So I know in my head, as I continue to communicate in this American way, even though I'm speaking the Japanese language, I know in my head that that is hurting my chances of being successful here in Japan. I know that that is hurting my chances of having more Japanese friends, of maybe getting a Japanese girlfriend, being accepted by the culture in general. But that is part of who I am. I am not willing to give that up. So that is just one sacrifice that I am making here. If you ever watch like these TikToks where people are like, what is one thing you need to do if you need to go to Japan? And people always say, people who have lived here for a long time, people who are foreigners who are successful here in Japan, they will always say things like, you need to be as Japanese as possible. You need to do whatever you can to be as Japanese as possible. And what is being Japanese? That might be not wearing cologne. That might be communicating in this vague manner where you dance around people's feelings, you dance around what you really mean all the time. That might be bowing. That might be learning how to use chopsticks, etc., etc., etc. So you guys don't have to do A, B, or C, but you need to recognize that if you do not do A, B, or C, you are hurting your chances of having a comfortable life here in this country. Now, I know a lot of people have this idea in America, at least I have heard many people say that my family or my parents are very proud of their Latin American heritage, so when they came to America, they made this point to not learn English, only speak Spanish, so Spanish is continued to be used in their household, and they're not going to be giving up this part of themselves that is they hold all this pride in speaking Spanish and not speaking English, so they make it a point to not learn English. I've heard people say that before. I always think like, okay, like that's completely fine. I don't have any problem with that. But you need to know your consequences. You need to know you not learning the language that is mainly spoken here, that is spoken in all the jobs that have the biggest opportunities, etc., etc. That is hurting your chances of being successful here. It's hurting your chances of providing for your family. That is hurting your chances of living a comfortable life. So you can be my guest to not learn English if that's what you want to do. Just like if you live in Japan, you can be my guest to not learn Japanese. If you find that learning Japanese is somehow encroaching on your pride of being a foreigner or whatever, like that's totally fine, dude. You don't have to do that. I know I have said many times in different videos like, oh, you have to learn Japanese if you're coming to Japan. When I say you have to learn Japanese if you're coming to Japan, I simply mean if you want to be successful here, if you want to maximize your potential to live a successful and comfortable life here in Japan, if you want to be accepted by the people, accepted by the culture, you have to learn Japanese. But if you don't want to learn Japanese, if you want to live here for 20-something years and only speak English, hey, be my guest, man. Your life is probably gonna suck, but hey, be my guest. So yeah, man, when I say you have to do A, B, or C when you come to Japan, obviously I don't mean you have to. You're not gonna die, you're not gonna get deported, you're not gonna get a virus that's gonna crawling through your mouth and slide out of your ass or anything. You just have to understand that you are hurting your potential here, and you have to accept that. I know there are certain things that I could do to become more Japanese, and some of those I'm just not going to do because I find it to be a very serious part of who I am in my core. For example, asking people how they are doing. I know for some people, they don't actually give a fuck how this person is doing or how that person is doing. But for me, I don't like small talk, so I don't like just saying shit that I don't mean. If I do want to ask someone how they are doing, which I do to my friends and my family and people that I care about, I will genuinely ask that because I will be concerned and I'm interested to know how you are doing, like what's going on. But I have said that a million different times in Japan to people I haven't seen in a while, and I say, hey man, like how are you? And then they laugh and they look around, and literally last time I said that, they all looked around at each other, all these Japanese people, and they're like, oh. And they were like, Cho America Jin. Like, he's so American. And they were like, and then like another time I said that in class, and my teacher was like, oh, we don't say that here. We don't say that. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you say here. I'm asking you, how are you? I'm interested to know how you are, teacher. And she's like, well, I'm okay. She's like, but we just know, like, we don't say that here in Japan. Like, you're telling me I can't ask people how they're doing? I think it's weird that you guys live lives where you're surrounded by each other all day, every single day, and you never ask about each other's feelings. You never ask how people are doing. So I don't think that is innately a bad thing, to be a little bit more thoughtful and just ask how people are doing. So like I said, that's one thing that kind of throws Japanese people off and makes them think that I'm weird when I do that, but I'm not really gonna give that up because I think that's a healthy thing, and I really do like asking people that. So anyways, guys, I hope you get the point of the video. If you're coming here to Japan, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything, and I don't give a damn what you do. I don't give a fuck what you do. But recognize, if you don't act Japanese, there are going to be things that aren't going to go your way very easily here. So thanks for watching my video. My name is yungjamez. If you guys want to send me a message on Instagram, hit your boy up. Discord, or if you want to join my Discord, $5 to the PayPal in the bio. Don't forget to add your Discord username. All right, peace out, y'all.